Hey guys, welcome to my channel, General Hospital News a Special. Please subscribe and keep watching for more details. I am your friend. Let's start. Hello, viewers of General Hospital Up to Tell News. We'll be looking back at some of the most tragic and heartbreaking deaths on GH over the years. Of course, many lives have been lost in the 6 decades that the soap has been on the air. However, we voted our soap writers and came up with the 5 names we'd like to discuss as the saddest. So on General Hospital, we'll go over things in chronological sequence, from least to most current. So to begin, we'll turn the time machine back to Port Charles in 1993. And you may already know who we're talking about. And there is the charming BJ Jones. Okay, you might have guessed it based on the year. Her mother, Bobby Spencer, inspired the name Barbara Jean Jones. If you recall, her father's name was Tony Jones. Jacqueline Zeman and Brad Mull portrayed her parents. Brighton Hertford, a young actress, played the cute little BJ. Her parents were already struggling at the time of BJ's murder because Bobby had been having an affair behind Tony's back with Damian Smith. If you don't recall, he was the son of mobster Frank Smith. Tony, in fact, was fighting with Damian about Bobby. When someone came in to tell them that their daughter had been in an accident, she tried to break it up. Amy Vinings, a nurse, broke in and informed them that BJ had been injured. Little BJ's health was critical by the time EMTs arrived at General Hospital. Tony could tell she was brain dead just by looking at her, yet her father was a doctor. At the same time, her tiny cousin, Maxie Jones, who was only a toddler at the time, died of heart failure. Maxie would die if she did not have a heart transplant. So Tony understood straight away that donating BJ's heart to save Maxie's life was the proper thing to do. But Bobby was heartbroken, and she first refused, but Tony assured her, "Nothing's going to bring our little girl back." So they understood they had to say their final goodbyes, and it was a sad, gut-wrenching moment. "When you give your heart to Maxie, I will give my heart to you, and we will both be safe," Tony said to BJ. "Thank you, BJ. I adore you." Tony walked in to check on Maxie after the heart transplant at General Hospital, and it was just this awful image. It's heartbreaking if you were watching at the time or if you've ever watched the footage. It's heartbreaking. Tony Jones rested his head on Maxie's small chest, listening to BJ's heart beat in her chest. Of course, it was a miracle because, despite the fact that they had lost their daughter, her heart continues to beat inside Maxie to this day. However, the death of BJ Jones continues to haunt many longtime GH viewers. We'll go ahead 2 years to 1995 for the number 2 death. And you may have guessed who we're going to mention. Stone Cates is the character performed by Michael Sutton from 1993 till his death, and he's experienced a couple spooky encounters since then. Stone Cates' death is still one of the most talked about on GH, because if you recall, the Nurses' Ball was founded in his honor, and he's usually mentioned at practically every Nurses' Ball, if not on stage, then by other individuals discussing the occasion. On General Hospital, Stone played the younger brother of Jagger Cates, and Stone Cates was Robin Scorpio's adolescent sweetheart, who is still played by Kimberly McCullough. Despite the fact that she no longer appears frequently on the show, Stone and Jagger had a tragic backstory. They were formerly homeless and living on the streets. Stone became infected with HIV while living that horrible existence. But they had no idea. Stone was tested, and one of the results was negative. He and Robin then slept together. Then another test revealed a positive result. As a result, Stone Cates accidentally infected Robin. This was a revolutionary piece on GH at the time, highlighting the pain of HIV/AIDS. Stone's primary carers at the time of his death were Robin and Sonny Corinthos. Sonny regarded Stone as a doppelganger, and he was smitten by him. Stone Cates was nearly blind in the last months of his life. In one of his final scenes on General Hospital, he requested Robin to stand near the window so he could see her one last time. Stone's vision miraculously improved to the point that he could see her. Stone's final words were, "Robin, I see you." Then he passed away. Many people were deeply affected by this death. Stone had had such a difficult life. Stone Cates died when he was still a teenager. Of course, Stone's and Robin's love for one another was evidently pure and wonderful. That made losing Stone Cates all the more sad. Stone was concerned that he had infected Robin with HIV. She is, nevertheless, still alive, despite the fact that she does not return to Port Charles frequently. However, she is a success story on the soap for HIV management. We've seen Michael Sutton reprise his role as Stone Cates a few times. In 2010, 2017, and most recently in 2021, as a ghost. He's returned to see Robin and Sunny, and Stone's death is still tragic. For our third sad death on General Hospital, we jump ahead to November of 2007, 12 years later. That is for Emily Bowen Quartermaine's death. You may recall that Amber Tamblyn began the role as an adolescent. However, Natalia Livingston was playing Emily at the time of her death. Emily Bowen's mother died of cancer many years ago. She was abandoned as an orphan, and Alan and Monica Quartermaine took her in. You may recall that this occurred following Monica's own breast cancer crisis, and at one point during her stint on GH, Emily faced a life-or-death struggle with breast cancer. But it wasn't breast cancer that killed her. It was something far more violent and horrifying. On General Hospital, Leslie Charleson plays Monica, while Stuart Damon plays Alan. Emily, like Lucky Spencer, Elizabeth Weber, and Nicholas Cassadine, was a part of the teen scene when she initially appeared. Tamblyn played her on General Hospital at the time. When Natalia Livingston was recast in the role, one of her most significant relationships was with Nicholas Cassadine. At the time of her horrible murder, Emily and Nicholas were engaged. Emily overcame her cancer battle despite several setbacks, and she and Nicholas got back together. He even came back from the verge of death twice for her, surviving a fire and suffering amnesia after a near-fatal vehicle accident. Helena Cassadine despised the relationship and condemned their love. However, they believed that by performing this rite, they had broken the curse, and we have to say that given Emily Quartermaine's awful death, perhaps Helena's curse was still active. Her demise occurred at a tragically young age. When she told Nicholas that she always adored the Bacchanalia galas, he organized a black and white gala at Windermere. So, on Halloween night, October 31st, 2007, the extravaganza began. And it was just a series of terrifying events. Nicholas proposed to Emily on General Hospital just before the guests arrived for the gala. They had previously been married but divorced, and they had to take this circuitous route back to each other. But they were madly in love with one another. That night, Nick and Emily were overjoyed to announce their reconciliation and engagement. The ball, however, was turned into a nightmare by crime boss Anthony Zacchara, and despite his actions, he was not the scariest person in the room. Because when Nicholas went seeking for Emily after the dust settled, he discovered her dead with a rope tied around her neck. She was a victim of the infamous text message killer. If you don't recall, that was Diego Alcazar. Diego eventually admitted to murdering Emily in order to harm Jason Morgan and Sonny Corinthos. She was Jason's adoptive sister. Remember, they treated each other, though, as if they were full-blooded siblings. And Sonny had developed feelings for Emily. However, things did not work out since he did not want her near him, because she was with him when he was first diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Plus, with that plus his mobster background, he felt it was a horrible idea. And, of course, at the time of her death, she was with her soulmate, Nicholas. Emily Quartermaine's death on GH was unquestionably tragic. However, Natalia Livingston has revived the character for a few of ghostly visits on General Hospital. So perhaps we haven't seen the last of her. Now, for our fourth death, we'll jump ahead a decade to investigator Nathan West, played by the stunning Ryan Pavey. Pavey played his character on the ABC series from 2013 till his demise in early 2018. Maxie Jones' soulmate and husband was Nathan West, and Nathan is the father of her son, James, who had not yet been born when his father died. It was a lot of fun when Nathan and Maxie first met. Nathan rented out her place, and she returned to Port Charles. That was back when she was dating skeevy conman Levi Dunkelman, played by Zachary Garrett. She also didn't get along with Nathan West. On General Hospital, it wasn't love at first sight. In reality, they both detested each other. And, as you may know, Nathan West has a peculiar backstory. Because Dr. Liesl Obrecht was his birth mother. Caesar Faison, the Uber villain, was Nathan's birth father. Kathleen Gady and Anders Hove play them. Liesl was terrified of Faison getting his hands on her son and being a bad person in general. So she gave Nathan West to her evil sister Madeline Reeves to nurture. Donna Mills played Madeline on General Hospital. So Nathan discovered the truth about his paternity and adoption a short time before his death. So Nathan was getting to meet his mother, Liesl, and his sister, Britt Westburn, played by Kelly Thiebaud. And of course, Britt is no longer alive, so Liesl has now lost both of her children. But in a nasty twist of fate, a very soapy twist of tragedy, Nathan West's biological father was the one who killed him. His horrible father was back in Port Charles and causing havoc after decades of Liesl Obrecht keeping him from Faison. On General Hospital, he shot Nathan in the chest directly in front of Maxie. She sobbed while dialing 911. And then the EMTs arrived. They also took Nathan to GH. He underwent emergency surgery. He awoke a few hours later, so Maxie was overjoyed. "Oh, this is fantastic," she thought. He made it through. At the time, she was expecting their son James. For the first time, she felt their baby kick. And Nathan West was able to feel his son by placing his hand on her stomach. "I love you, Maxie," he said, as if there's no tomorrow. And then he passed away, suddenly and horribly. It was both heartbreaking and sudden. He was regarded as a PCPD hero. On February 9th, 2018, he was given a full honors funeral. And Nathan is still mentioned frequently since Maxie talks about him. She is always interested in informing James about his father. Liesl has mentioned him in light of the recent loss of Britt. And that was a terrible tragedy that fans would like to see overturned. But he doesn't appear to be rising from the dead. Now, we'll stay to the same year that Nathan West died, 2018, to discuss our most recent unfortunate death. And that is Kiki Jerome's death on General Hospital. The same year Nathan West died, this young woman was horribly murdered. At the time of her death, she was played by Haley Aaron. However, Kristen Alderson invented the role in 2013. She lived a similar life as Nathan. Kiki was, of course, the daughter of Ava Jerome, played by Maura West. However, Kiki was led to believe that serial killer Franco, played by Roger Howarth until his death, was his father. As a result, everything seemed perplexing. And Sellis' reveal came only after he was stabbed. So there was this horrible event. Kiki had been involved with both Morgan and Michael Corinthos when she initially appeared on the show. However, at the time of her death, she was seeing Dr. Griffin Munro, and it was her encounter with Griffin that caused her to clash with her mother, Ava. Because Ava had been dating Griffin and had developed feelings for him. But he couldn't stand the worst aspects of Ava and broke things off. On General Hospital, he and Kiki first fought to fight their attraction. They didn't, though. The fact that Kiki died at the hands of serial killer Ryan Chamberlain was particularly heartbreaking. Second, Ryan stabbed her to death in the mistaken belief that he was doing her mother, Ava, a favor. Ava is still in a lot of anguish because her kid died, but she might take solace in the fact that Ryan Chamberlain is also no longer alive. When Ava got the opportunity to shoot him, she hesitated. Fortunately, Max Scorpio completed the task for her, eliminating Ryan Chamberlain once and for all. Kiki Jerome's death is still discussed now and then, most notably in relation to Esme Prince. When Esme Prince and Spencer Cassadine, played by Nicholas Chavez, were torturing Ava, Esme recreated the memory of Kiki. Esme set fire to Ava's automobile at the General Hospital parking garage. She also left Kiki Jerome's hospital lanyard at the crime site. Ava was terrified by the fire, but finding Kiki's lanyard there brought back all her grief over losing her daughter, and it continues to haunt her. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel General Hospital Up to Tell News. Stay with us.